The Knicks have been one of the most dominant teams in Summer League. They opened up Summer League with a 13-point victory against the Golden State Warriors, and then followed it up with a super dominant 32-point victory against the Chicago Bulls. A lot of the young Knicks players on the team have been playing really well, which is awesome to see. So let's break down what these young Knicks players are doing and look at their outlook on the team for next season. But before we continue, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please, if you enjoy the content, please like the video and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. First, let's talk about Quentin Grimes. Every Summer League, there's one player on the Knicks that really stands out, and this year that player is Grimes. Grimes had 24 points and 8 assists against the Warriors, and followed it up with 24 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists against the Bulls. In Summer League, he's playing a much bigger role than he played for the Knicks in his rookie year. Last season, Grimes was utilized as just a defend and shoot player, but the Summer League Knicks are empowering Grimes by letting him handle the ball and initiate offense, and he's been excellent. In Summer League, Grimes is showing an ability to break down defenders off the bounce and either finish at the rim or draw fouls. And he's also a very good passer that can find the open man. And Grimes, of course, has been money from outside, whether it's shooting off the catch or knocking down pull-up threes. The way Grimes is playing really makes me think that he could be more than just a 3-and-D player. He's got those 3-and-D skills, but if he could put the ball on the floor and pass like this at the NBA level, then he could be much more. Grimes more than likely comes off the bench next season, but the way he's playing, I'd rather him start at the shooting guard position. With the scorers the Knicks have in the starting lineup, the Knicks don't need another offensively minded player starting in Evan Fournier. Grimes just makes so much more sense, as his ability to defend would give the starting unit much more balance. Overall, it's very encouraging to see Grimes playing this well in Summer League, and hopefully he can keep it up. Now let's talk about Jericho Sims. Sims finished with 16 points, 8 boards, and 2 blocks against the Warriors, and 11 points, 10 boards, and 3 assists versus the Bulls. He's an absolute physical specimen, recording a 44-inch vertical at last year's draft combine. That athleticism makes him a great lob target. He can finish really well as a screen and roll big man, but he's showing that he can be more than just a lob catching center. We're seeing some plays where he's putting the ball on the floor and scoring at the rim. On the defensive end, his rim protection has looked excellent. Unfortunately, Sims probably won't be in the rotation next year with Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein on the team, but Sims will get his chances when injuries occur. I think Sims has potential to be a good starting center in the NBA. He reminds me a lot of Nicholas Claxton on the Nets. Now let's talk about Miles McBride. McBride had 14 points and 7 assists against Golden State and 14 and 6 against the Bulls. McBride's pull-up shooting has looked excellent. He really knows how to get to his spots and drain the open 3-pointers. And he showed some pretty good court vision as he was able to find his teammates for open shots. But McBride's biggest strength is on the defensive end, where his great defensive instincts and 6'9" wingspan allow him to rack up steals and deflections. On the downside, Deuce really struggles to get to the basket. He doesn't have the speed that the elite guards have to drive by defenders, and this was something that was put in his scouting reports before the draft. He also doesn't have a great handle to make up for his lack of athleticism, so he really struggles to break down NBA level defenders. For that reason, I think McBride's path to sticking around in the NBA is to become a Patrick Beverley or George Hill type of point guard. He's already a good defender, but he also needs a good outside shot. He was a good shooter in college and in the G League, but he only shot 25% from 3 in the 40 games he played for the Knicks last season. As for next season, it's hard for me to see him being much more than a third-string point guard on this team, with Jalen Brunson and Derrick Rose ahead of him. But he will get his chances because injuries will happen, but he needs to make the most of the opportunities that he does get. Now let's talk about Feron Hunt. Hunt was excellent in the first game, finishing with 17 points, 7 steals, and 3 boards, but was a lot quieter in the second game with just 5 points. He tends to rack up a lot of steals by playing the passing lanes, and he makes stuff happen in transition. He's a great athlete that can slash to the basket, but he really needs to develop an outside shot. He also has a great physical profile for a forward at 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. The way he's playing, Hunt may earn himself a training camp invite and maybe even a roster spot. Lastly, let's talk about Trevor Keels, who the Knicks took in the second round of the draft. he scored just 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting in game 1 and 5 points on 2 of 10 shooting in game 2. He could get to the basket, but he's been really forcing some bad shots. There's still some games left for Keels to prove himself, but he's looked really rough in the games he's played. I think the Knicks will end up sending Keels to the G League because playing time is going to be hard for him to come by next season. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you think of these young Knicks players based on their performance in Summer League? Tell me in the comments, and make sure you like the video and subscribe. How next season goes will be heavily dependent on the growth of RJ Barrett. Click this video to see how RJ can make the All-Star leap for the Knicks next season.